The scene opens on a place known as the Dead Place. It was also called the Immortal Devil Cliff. It was a dark and eerie mountain, with dead trees below. No live vegetation was on sight. Scattered skulls and bones lay at the foot of the mountain. The dark weather, adding to the ominous feeling, thundered, giving ominous air. A shadow of person is seen barely hanging on a mountain slopes, body dangling. It was none other than the protagonist, Shen Xiang. He was climbing atop the mountain. The protagonist was searching for something. Suddenly, it caught his sight in the shadows. It was shaped like a big mushroom. Upon closer inspection, it was red in color. It looked like a small red tree or a big red kidney. It was a rare, once-in-a-thousand-year. The hell spirit grass can only be picked on the Een day of the Een month in the Een year. The protagonist, thinking to himself that he could not miss the opportunity, as he would have to wait for many years to have the same kind of chance, climbed on slowly towards the hell spirit grass, and with one swift and strong pull managed to retrieve the demon spirit grass, while inwardly thinking to himself that the time to reverse destiny has arrived. Suddenly, a thunder strike hit the mountain and shocked the cliff, frightening the protagonist. Some stones from above fell, making the protagonist lose his balance, the protagonist cursing the heavens inwardly, for all his efforts seems to be going to waste. As he fell, the protagonist questioned as to how he could lose just like this. He desperately tried to grab on to some rocks, but it broke with his bloodied fingers. He tried holding on to anything while trying to confide in himself to hang on a bit more, then he would no longer be seen as a waste. Then everything went blank. When the protagonist opened his eye, some rock debris were falling. Upon noticing figures, he widened his eyes in astonishment, looking at the two beautiful girls, both equally stunning. The protagonist muttered to himself whether he was dead. One girl with blue eyes spoke up, calling him little brat, commending him that if he does not stand up, she would leave him to die. The protagonist then got up to meet the two beautiful girls, who were relieved and were sighing. The protagonist then spoke up with an introduction of his name and specified that he had come to this place to harvest some herbs, but with the shaking of the cliffs he fell further, adding that it wasn't his intention to disturb or offend the two girls who he referred to as senior sisters. The girl with blue hair and blue dress spoke up with some displeased sounds. She had thought that they had finally had someone to save them, but to their disappointment, the protagonist did not have any spiritual vein. She then continued trying to be comforting by saying that it might be fine, as when the both sisters die, at least the protagonist might build their grave. The protagonist inquired her for her casual death statement. She answered up by saying that the death chi was surrounding the Immortal Devil Cliff, and that it would require a strong individual with strong physique and chi to get them out of there, as the two of them were also injured, and being at the bottom of the cliff, where wild animals raging around, was indeed akin to a death sentence, only waiting for the arrival of death. Meanwhile, the other girl placed her hand on her own shoulder, seemed visibly injured. The protagonist, being the true example, stepped forward and upon noticing the injury on the shoulder, offered to help with herbs that he had brought from his family. But the girl sadly replied that her wound cannot be treated with a normal spirit herb, and that with no hope for survival, concluding that they would all be buried, told him to forget the idea. The protagonist reiterated as to how she could know if she didn't even try, surprising the girl, the protagonist then continuing that he cannot lose hope as he had important things to do, and also pointing out to her that she may also herself have some important issues to attend, then encouraged her to hope for life. The protagonist further asserted that even if he had to bet on everything, he would let her try the herbs to heal herself. At the protagonist's insistence, both all looked at each other with amazement, and one of the girl whispered to the other that this little brat may be a subject they can try upon. The injured girl then pulled away her back sleeves and revealed her milky pure white back skin. With some injury on shoulders, the protagonist flustered, closing his eyes with his hands on his flustered face, murmuring that it was inappropriate and it was not convenient for him to do it. The other girl spoke up saying that they were both injured, and thus He himself had to rub the medicine on her. The protagonist, with bashfulness, apologized and proceeded to stretch his hand forwards, while the injured girl looked on seductively and as if tempting towards the protagonist.